to my channel. My name is Jeanette and I'm a high vibrational being. And I'm back with a message. I hope this doesn't drop. Trying to get it. I just don't want to show my face. Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jeanette and I'm a high vibrational being. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to donate to my channel, it's $BELIEVE 201. I'm here talking about Tupac. And I think he needs to be more recognized than he was portrayed differently, but I'm going to read some stuff about Tupac because I think I'm dedicating this video to Tupac. And he writes, Mama was a hellraiser, born thugging, heartless, and mean mugging. At 16 on the scene, watching fiends bugging, soaking up the game that was told to me. Never touch a gat that I couldn't shoot. Learn not to trust a bitch from the prostitutes. When taught lessons, a young and asking questions, what others SUCKAS was questing. I was gangster sex in elementary. This is his little rhyme that he had put together. Wasn't meant for me. Can't regret it. Headed for the penitentiary. Cutting class. I buck blast. Straight mash. While other mother F's I figured out. No doubt they jealous of the end clouds. Tell me, Lord, can't you feel me? I could relate to some, even though I'm not a rapper, but I could relate to a lot of his energy, what he was going through. Every day getting paid, police on my pager. I could say, I didn't deal with drugs. I didn't sell drugs, but somebody that I knew had sold drugs. So I know what it is to have a stash house. So I could relate being scared by the police. Straight stressing, a fugitive, my occupation is unquestioned, I'm wanted, an investigation. All the while I'm getting high. Somebody's getting high as well. And somebody is wanted for investigation in a crime. I'll spark it. I'll lose my breath every time I read the paper. I see my picture. This is Tupac, by the way. When a end gets richer, they come to get it like a MF trap. They wonder why it's hard to be black. So he felt like everything was against him. But that's a rap that he was writing. And this is 1971 to 1984. Everybody past is what made it their future. I came to New York in 1970. Well, I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn and I moved to Manhattan in 1970, I think 73. Everybody's past is what made their future. It's about destiny. So it's about his destiny. His mother was a Black Panther, very activist in the community. She also went to jail. This is her story. My mother was a Black Panther, and she was really involved in the movement. Just Black people bettering themselves and things like that. She was in a high position in the party, which was unheard of because there was sexism, even in the Black Panther. All my roots to the struggle are real deep. My stepfather at the time, Mutu Shakur, he was also well known revolutionary. And when my godfather, Guillermo Brat, he had stopped, he had a top official rank position with the Panthers on the West Coast. There's racism, and we still having racism until this day. There's racism. So when the Panthers hit the government, panicked. The government panicked when the Black Panthers were standing up. They felt like the Panthers were detrimental to America's society. So they raided every Panthers house, especially the ones who they felt could do damage, as an orator. My mother was 7 months pregnant. They put a match to the door and said, "Fire, fire." And it's like 5 in the morning. So my mother opened the door and it just burst in, put a shotgun to her pregnant belly, and put a gun to her head and said, "Don't move, blah, blah, blah. You're under arrest." They treated them less than humans. My mother was pregnant with me while she was in prison. She was her own attorney, never been to law school. She was facing 300 some odd years. This is Tupac's mother. One Black woman, pregnant, beat the case. That just goes to show you the strength of a Black woman and the strength of the oppressed. We're going to move forward. We're going to get out of this. We're going to be free. And God is going to take us out of this enslavement that humanity has placed on the people. These lawyers, these judges, all these people who are supposed to help community. A month after she got out of prison, she gave birth to me. I was so cultivated in prison. My embryo was in prison. That's Tupac Shakur. When I was a baby, I remember one movement of calm place, of calm peace. Then 3 minutes after, it was on. I was named after this Inca chief from South America, whose name was Tupac Amaru. I think the tribal breakdown means intelligent warrior. Even he was a warrior. He was a person who was fighting for people's rights. If I go to South America, they're going to love me. I'm telling you. They know Tupac. This was Tupac and his family. Very loving. Always around his family, his friends. He says, "My mom is the bomb." first I rebelled against her because she was in the movement and never spent time because she was always speaking and going out to colleges and everything. I always used to feel that she cared about the people more than her people. And then after that was over, it was more time spent with me. And we were both just like, you're, you're my mom, you're my mother. And she was like, you're my son. So then she was really close with me and really strict almost. She taught me how to be how to be community orientated. And I think my mother taught me how to understand women a lot more than my peers can. So he had a lot of respect for women. I'm not uncomfortable about strong women. My sister is the bomb too. She's my biggest critic. She was real smart, funny as all Hell. I think my mother, like Fred Hampton, Mark Clark, Harriet Tubman, they felt like they were laying tracks for the generations to come. Somebody was to break out and risk losing everything and being poor and getting beat down. Somebody sacrifices. But poverty is no joke. If there was no money and everything depended on your moral standards and the way you treated people, we'd be millionaires. We'd be rich. But since it's not like that, we're stone broke. And that's the only thing I'm bitter about is growing up poor because I missed out on a lot of things. I can't always have what I want or even things that I think I need. I feel like I feel that my mother made a lot of decisions in her life. She could have chose to go to college and been well off, but she chose to fight and make things better. It's Tupac Shakur and and his family, mother. That's his mom. My mom, she's totally brilliant, totally understanding and caring. She's human. I mean, she'll be wrong a lot, but we can talk about it. My mother taught me three things: respect, knowledge, and search of knowledge. It's an eternal journey. Every one of us have an eternal journey. We all have to find our path. We all have to find our way through life, never giving up. We live in this world where these millionaires have tried to oppress the people, and God is going to change all that. This is Tupac growing up with his family, very loving. He says, my father was a panther. I never knew where my father was or who my father was for sure. Like many of us who grew up without knowing our true parents. The time that I came up, it was in the late 60s. They were still having free love. They just hitting what they just was hitting, if you get what he says. My mother wasn't married and she got pregnant and had me. And I didn't have a father. My stepfather was a gangster, a straight up street hustler. He loved the fact that the Panthers would go to jail and wouldn't snitch. He didn't even care. My mom had a kid. He was like, oh, that's my son. Took care of me, gave me money, but he was like a criminal too. He was a drug dealer out there doing things. he only came, brought me money, and then he left. I hate saying this because white people love hearing black people talk about this. But I know for a fact that I had a father. I had some discipline. I have more confidence. Your mother cannot calm you down the way a man can. Your mother can't reassure you the way a man can. My mother wouldn't show me where my manhood was. You needed a man to teach you how to be a man. That's Tupac and his family. When I was young, I was quite withdrawn. I read a lot, wrote poetry, kept a diary. I watched TV all day, and I stayed in front of the television. It was when I was in front of the TV by myself, being alone in the house by myself, having to cook dinner by myself, to eat by myself, just being by myself and looking at TV, at families and all these people out there in this pretend world. I knew I could be part of it if I pretended to. So early on, I watched and emulated, and I just thirst for that. I thought it would be, if I could be and act like those characters, act like those people, I could have some of their joy. If I could act like I had a big family, I wouldn't feel so lonely. Ooh, Tupac felt alone. Tupac felt like he had no family, only his mom, even though he had his stepdad. Um, he has some tickets here. Baltimore. He lived in Baltimore. This was where we chose to live. That's Tupac and his family. That's Tupac with his white hat. I needed to bring Tupac up because he's been coming up a lot in my energy, and people view him differently, and I even judged him differently. I learned about Tupac through my son, Michael. May he rest in peace. Tupac was the same age as my son Michael when he passed away. We moved out to New York because my mother lost her job and we were like stranded. And we moved to Baltimore, which was a total ignorance town to me. It gets me upset to talk about it. This is the only book he wrote. So this is Tupac. He didn't get to write his bibliography. He was a cute kid. He was cute. I had a few times when I just zoned out and had good luck. When I auditioned for the Baltimore School for the Arts, that was one of my good luck times. I spent 3 years in Baltimore. My high school years, I loved my classes. I made lots of friends that I wanted to keep over. We were exposed to everything: theater, ballet, different people, lifestyles, rich people, lifestyles, royal from other countries, and things, everything. So he was exposed to people in power, people of royalty. That's Tupac as a teenager. He loved children. He also went out with Jada. This is what he wrote to Jada for Jada. Jada Pinkins. You are the omega of my heart, the fountain, the foundation for my conception of love. When I think of what a black woman should be, it is you that I first think of. You really never fully understand how deeply my heart feels for you. I worry that we'll grow apart and I'll end up losing you. You bring me to climax without sex, and you do it with regal grace. You are my heart in human form, a friend I could never replace. That's Jada Pinkins right there and Tupac. He's hugging Tupac. There she goes again, Jada Pinkins. That's them hanging out, I guess, in the school. This is a letter to John. Nothing can come between us. Let's not talk of money. Let us forget the world. For a moment, let's just be revel in our eternal camaraderie. In my heart, I know that there will never be a day that I don't remember the times we shared. You were a friend. I guess this is a friend he lost. When I was at my lowest, and being a friend to me was not easy nor fashionable. Regardless of how popular I become, you remain my unconditional friend. Unconditional in its truest sense. Do you think I would forget? Did you, for one moment, dream that I would ignore you? If so, remember this from here to forever. Nothing can come between us. So there's John, his friend, and I think there's the clouds, some pictures. So his friend passed away. But my homeboys' high school, it's not like that. They don't have trips to go see Broadway plays. They don't read the things we were reading. And they don't know what I was talking about when I was like, yo, Shakespeare is dope. He likes Shakespeare. They don't have the same experiences that we had. Then I started thinking like, damn, why is that? Because our school that I went to is mostly for white kids and rich minorities. And I started going, damn, man, I would have been a totally different person had I not been exposed to these things. Hell no. I was living in the ghetto. We didn't have any lights, no electricity. We was like, we was about to get evicted. I thought we were not being taught to deal with this world as it is. We were being taught to deal with this fairy tale land we're not even living in anymore. It's sad. I mean, no more kids are being handed crack than they were being handed diplomas. I mean, more kids were being handed crack, so they were handed cracks. Drugs was being exposed to the schools. This was the 80s, and I remember there was crack vials all over the place. There were crack vials in the schools. I worked construction. I had to clean crack vials all day, every day. I think adults should go to school again. I think rich people should live like poor people, and poor people should live like rich people, and they should change every week. Growing up in America, I loved my childhood, but I hated growing up poor, and it made me very bitter. We lived in hell. We lived in the gutter, a war zone. They just, they got us stacked up 80 deep in one building. By the time you get out of your house, you're strapped just to protect yourself. The same crime element that white people are scared of, black people are scared of. The same crime element that white people fear, we fear. So we defend ourselves from the same crime element that they're scared of. You know what I'm saying? So while they're waiting for legislations to pass and everything, we next door to the killers. We next door to him because we up in the projects with 80 niggas in a building. All of them killers that they letting out. They right there in that building. But it's better just cause we're black. We get along with the killers or something. We get along with the rapists cause we're black and we're from the same hood. What is that? We need protection too. They ain't like Tupac. They got rid of Tupac because Tupac was speaking a lot of truth. Liberty needs glasses. This is something Tupac wrote. Excuse me, but Lady Liberty needs glasses. And so does Mr. Justice. And I agree. By her side, both the broads and blind as bats. Stumbling through the system, Justice bumped into Matulu and tripping on Guillermo Brat, but stepping right over Oliver and his crooked partner Rodney. Justice stumbled her big toe on Mandela, and Liberty was misquoted by the Indians. Slavery was a learning phase, forgotten without a verdict, while justice is on a rampage. For endangered surviving black males, I mean, really, if anyone really valued life and cared about the masses, they take them both to Penn Optical and get them two pairs of glasses. Tupac was funny. He was a character. This was something else he wrote here. She never got to make that trip, so the friends of the fever are going for her and everybody else couldn't make it. We all worked hard and saved our money. We hustled a lot, ran errands for the dealers. They give big tips if you stayed in school. So we so one So one all went, so we all went to school through Max beatings and his hospital stay, through Roster's 6 months visit to juvenile. These were his friends. Juvie, through me and square problems with the police, were first really looking for my father. His father was a drug dealer. Through all of that, we fantasize about the Exodus. And finally, it was to be real. We were waiting rosters to steal a car, but nobody really wanted to go through with the driving us being so young, and all even if I did look older, it was a chance with all five of us in the car. So we took the train. They didn't get to steal the train. They was thinking about taking a car, but they gave that idea up. The upstate link up with the railroad cars that go out west to California, where we could all start over together. Then I came to California to escape that violence. That's Tupac. He went to California and he points himself, this is in the book, he points himself as being fresh. Oakland, I guess it's Oakland, California. I know good things are going to come for me. Come to Marin City And there's skinhead violence. There's racial violence, which I deplore. But don't get the wrong idea. I feel like I'm being gloomy. I don't mean to just be like, damn, it's bad out there. I'll try to be positive. I chase girls and want the car and loud music, but I like to think of myself as socially aware. I think there should be a drug class, a sex education class, a real sex education class, and I agree. A class on police brutality, I agree. There should be a class on para, parathete. I don't know, is that a parathete? There should be a class on why people are hungry. People are hungry. People are out here struggling. No more $5. Hungry. I agree. There, there should be a class on why people are hungry, but there are not. There are classes on gym, physical education. Let's learn volleyball. What they were teaching in school, what they're teaching, is not teaching real teaching. They're really teaching things that they shouldn't be teaching in the school. They're not really educating the students. This is life through Tupac's life. Life through my eyes. Life through my eyes, through my bloodshed eyes, would scare a square to death. Poverty, murder, violence, and never a moment to rest. Fun and games are few, but treasure like gold to me, 'cause I realize that I must return to my spot in poverty. But mark my words when I say my heart will not exit unless my destiny comes through and puts an end to all of this. And I agree with Tupac. My mom, my homie, we went through our stages. We know where first we was mother and son, then it was like drill sergeant and cadet. Then it was like a dictator, little country. Then I moved out and I was on my own. That's his mom. His mom was also on substance abuse. I was broke, nowhere to stay. I smoked weed. I hung out with the drug dealers, pimps, and the criminals. They were the only people that cared about me at that point. And I needed a father, a male influence in my life. And these were the males. My mom, she was a lot at the particular moment. She was caring about herself. She was addicted to crack. It was hard. It was a hard time because she was my hero. I was broke. I didn't have enough credits. I graduate. I didn't have enough credits to graduate. I dropped out. I said, I gotta get paid. I gotta find a way to make a living. I tried selling drugs for maybe like 2 weeks. And then the dude was like, oh man, give me my drugs back. Because I didn't know how to do, he said, I didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to sell drugs. Then the dope dealer said, look, then the dope dealer used to look out for me. They would just give me the money and be like, don't get involved in this. Get out of there and do your dream. So they were like my sponsors. All of my songs deal with pain. That's what makes me me. That's what makes me do what I do. Everything is based on pain. I felt my childhood, small pieces of it and harsh pieces of it. My inspiration for writing music is like John McClane did when he did American Pie, or Vincent Lorraine Hasbury with Raisin in the Sun, like Shakespeare when he does his thing like deep stories like raw human needs. I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like you got the Vietnam War, and because you have had reporters showing us pictures of the war at home, that's what made the war end. Or that shit would have lasted longer. If no one knew what was going on, we would have thought that they were just dying violently in their beautiful way, but because we saw the horror, that's what made us stop the war. So I thought that's what I'm going to do as an artist, as a rapper. I'm going to show most graphic details of what I see in my community, and hopefully they'll stop it quick. I seen all that I seen all of that, the crack babies, what we had to go through, losing everything, being poor, and getting beat down. All of that. Being the person I am, I said, no, 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 no. I'm changing this. This is the letter. This is what Tupac wrote. The only way to change me is maybe blow my brains out. Stuck in the middle of the games, come yet pain out. I pray to my God every day, but he don't listen. The poverty brothers, me but mama making wonders in the kitchen. Listen, I can hear her crying in the bedroom, praying for money she'll never get. Will we be dead soon? Am I wrong for wishing I was somewhere else? 13, can't feed myself. He was 13 at the time. Can't feed myself. Can I blame Daddy because he left me? Wish he would have hugged me? Too much like him, so my mama don't love me. On my own, at an early age, getting paid. Stay strapped so I'll never be afraid. Where did I go astray, hanging in the black streets, running the, with the G's and the dope fiends? Will they jack me? Can't turn back, my eyes on the prize. I got nothing to lose because everybody's gonna die. Say goodbye to the bad guy, the one you Fuck when you pass by. BB from the Glock, let the glass fly. Do or die, walk a mile in my shoes. And you be crazy too. Walk a mile in my shoes and see where you be at. Walk a mile in my shoes and see how it feel like. Walk a mile in my shoes and be connected to the Most High and have the faith that you need to have, because I believe in the Most High. This is Tupac playing with a blow-up doll. Some people play with blow-up dolls. Something about blow-up dolls. I got that in a dream too. But when I first started rapping, I needed the money and I had to work. The dance with the naked doll, that's me. For me to get paid, I had to go out there in the bikini brief and hop on atop of this doll. That's so funny, you see, huh? I was homeless at the time, and that's what I had to do. You have to work from one point to get to another point. I admire the work ethic. I used to rap everywhere. I was one of those people. I put my tape in the deck. I interrupt conversations and just start rapping. This lady's name, Layla, introduced me to Arton Gregory, who was managing Digital Underground. He was like, I'm gonna send you to Digital Underground. They're in the studio. You just rap for Shock G on the spot. If he likes you, I'm gonna pick you up. I just walked in and rapped for him. He was like, okay, good. You're in the boom, boom, boom. I'll see you later. I just walked out of there like, dag. I look back with the greatest fondness. Those were like some of the best times in my life. It was all funny to me. It was all good. The silly part is like me running around in zebra print underwears and making stimulated sex. We had the funniest, craziest shows. I think hip hop needed another digital underground right now. Money B is the freaky D. Do you know? He adds that special sexy flavor for the females. Shock is the guru. He has a spiritual part. Humpty is the comic relief. Pee Wee is like that pimp, the gangster sound. And I'm more the rebel. I speak for the young black males. I feel as though I can be honest. Honest, I feel as though I can honestly say my ear is to the streets, especially for the black youth, the black males in America in the ghettos. My ear is right there. As soon as I got a chance to say what was on my mind, I said what was on my mind. And we have a platinum record now. So I went from dancing naked with dolls, being unknown, and having a platinum record. These are some of the people he was coming up. I don't know if you guys recognize any of these people in the music industry, but I sure don't. I'm gonna read to you. This was a crime against Tupac Shakur in California. Tupac Amaru Shakur presents a claim for damages. Tupac Amaru Shakur represents a claim for damages against the City of Oakland, California, Department of Police, Chief of Police George Hart, Oakland Police Officer Alexander Boyovich, and Kevin Rogers, and does 1 through 25, in the sum of $10 million. Law Office of John Burles, John L. Burles, 1212 Broadway, Suite 1200, Oakland, California. The address of parties presenting claim, if other than above, the law office. That's his lawyers. The date of occurrence was October 17, 1991, in front of 1750 Broadway in the city of Oakland. On October 17, 1991, at approximately 12:95 p.m., Tupac, a.k.a. Tupac Amor Shakur, a young African-American male and a member of the nationally acclaimed rap group Digital Underground, was physically and verbally assaulted and falsely arrested and imprisoned by Oakland police officers Alexander Voyevich and Kevin Rogers, both white males, at approximately 12:45. Claimant jaywalked across the street on Broadway to enter the Union Bank. Officers Boyvich and Rogers blocked Claimant's entrance to the bank and repeatedly requested his identification. Claimant complied with the officers. This is Tupac. Request and provided them with 3 pieces of identification. Both officers immediately proceeded to joke and harass Claimant about his name. They were harassing him about his name. A discussion issued regarding his issuance of the jaywalking ticket. At some point in the conversation, Clayman informed the officer that he was a member of the rap group Digital Underground and merely wanted the ticket so that he could complete his bank business. Officer Boyvich immediately informed Clayman that they could do whatever they desired to him, including arrest Clayman for anything they wanted. Clayman informed the officer he had done nothing to warrant the arrest. Uttering a profanity, Clayman requested his citation. The claimant request for his citation, Officer Boyvich responded by grabbing claimant by the neck, putting him in the chokehold, and throwing him on the ground. As a result, claimant's face hit the sidewalk. This is Tupac. Brutally abused by police officers. He did nothing. Going to a bank and jaywalked. Could have gotten just a citation ticket, but these officers took it to the extreme. While on the ground, Officer Boyvich repeatedly slammed claimant's face upon the pavement, while Officer Roger held claimant's body down. Officer Boyvich continued to choke claimant until he lost consciousness. At no time did the claimant assault or resist the officer while they were physically attacking him. When claimant finally regained consciousness, his face was down in the gutter and being kicked at to get up by the officers. He was then cuffed by Officer Rogers, disoriented and staggering. Doesn't this sound familiar? Clayman was pulled into a sitting position by the officer. Unseated, the officer then told Clayman that he was going to learn his place while in Oakland. Officer Rogers then made several jokes about Clayman's inability to breathe when the officer Boyvich was choking him. Clayman then expressed his indignation for being harassed and assaulted. At one point, Clayman had made a reference to slavery, and both officers believing themselves as to be masters. Officer Rogers responds with the statement like that, master. He says, I like that, master. I like that sound of it. Such sounds very KKK to me. Claimant remained handcuffed in a sitting position on the sidewalk in front of the bank for approximately 20 minutes while waiting for the paddy wagon. When the paddy wagon arrived, Claimant was driving around the city of Oakland before reaching citation. Claimant was jailed for approximately 7 hours, cited for resisting arrest and then released. Claimant suffered from facial abrasion and aching head, a sore neck, wrists and arms, and muscle soreness, and being slammed onto the ground and tightly handcuffed. Nobody should be treated like that. Nobody. The City of Oakland and George Hart's chief of police for the City of Oakland by and through their supervisory officials and pattern of ongoing constitutional violations and practices by defendant Boyvich and Rogers, consisting of the use of the unnecessary and excessive force against African American citizens and false arrest of African American citizens. Despite said notice, defendants City of Oakland and George Hart have demonstrated deliberate indifference to this pattern of practice of constitutional violation by failing to take taking necessary, appropriate, and adequate measures to prevent the continued perpetuations of said patterns of conduct by Voyage and Rogers. Further, defendants City of Oakland and George Hart have failed to adequately train defendant, police officers, Boyvich and Rogers, and other police officers in the proper use of force in the course of their employment as officers, police officers. This lack of an adequate supervisorial response and training by defendants City of Oakland and George Hart demonstrates the existence of informal custom of policing which tolerates and promotes the continuing use of excess force against violation of civil rights of American citizens by Boyvich and Rogers. Description of nature and extent of injury and damages. Claimant's physical injuries include but not limited to pain and injury to his body and being slammed to the ground, face pounded to the pavement, pain and injury to his wrists and his arms from the handcuffs, pain and injury to his neck from being choked unconscious, inflicted on him by defendant Boyvich and Rogers, police officers of Oakland. Claimant was physically and emotionally injured and damaged as a proximate result of this incident. Claimant damages include general, special, punitive, attorney fees, civil rights violation, and treble damages, and $10,000 for each offense pursuant to California Civil Code 52B. Causes of action of claimant complaint may include assault, battery, false arrest, and imprisonment, violation of California Code Section 51.7, violation of civil rights 42, United States of California, Section 1981 and 1983, intentional infliction of emotional distress, neglect, infliction of emotional distress and neglect. This dated November 12, 1991. There was a lawsuit against police officers who did this to Tupac Shakur's face for just jaywalking to the bank with unnecessarily. There was no reason for this abuse. And it's been going on. I had no record of my life, okay? No record, no police record. He never had a police record until I made a record. Until he made one record that he went platinum. As my video was debuting on MTV, I was behind bars getting beat up by the police department. I was still in an IWGA, and they proved it. All this is scars I go to my grave with. All this is learned to be an end scar. He says it right there. I don't like saying those words. Hollywood, 1992 to 1994. I'm crazy, but you know what else? I don't give a F. That's Tupac. When he auditioned to, how you say it, Poetic Justice, or Juice, this was Juice. When I auditioned for Juice, that was another day of my good luck times. I was broke. I wasn't even thinking about acting. I was thinking about surviving. Money B was going to audition. I was just being a sidekick and walked in there wet. Soon as we got home, they was like, we want him to fly back out here. And I was like, if they were going to fly me, I'll go back there. That's a chance. And then they started, one more time, and I was like, okay, all this was good because I hadn't got any parts. I hadn't even gone out on any audition. So it was like my first audition was going so well. Bishop is a psycho, but more true to his character, Bishop is a lonely, misguided young kid. His heroes are James Cagney and Scarface. Those kind of guys, shoot 'em up, go in and blaze that type of gangster. I don't think acting is as technical as they try and make it. They try to make it technical so everybody isn't an actor. All you really have to do is feel your character and relate to your character, because when you act, you satisfy something inside of yourself. The character is me. I'm Bishop. Everybody got a little Bishop in them. I'm real. The lyrics might be a story or they might be real, but I stay real. I am never a story, never a script, never a character. Even when I'm playing a character, I am really a character at that same time. There is nothing fake. It's nothing fake about Tupac. If Bishop was a reflection of young black male today, I wouldn't be honest if I didn't show any other reflection. All of our young black males are not violent. They're not taking the law into their own hands. Lucky is doing its opposite way that Bishop did. He's working, he's very responsible, he's very deliberate about the things he's doing. He's taking care of his daughter. He is a respectful person. You know what I'm saying? He lives at home and his mother, he's not swearing it. That's where he wants to be. He wants to work. He wants to set his goals and accomplish them. Lucky the postman, that's me. When I'm the type of person that could be a good father, a good homie, a good son, and a good man at the same time. I had to tone myself down a lot to be lucky. But I said, that's what it would take, because he's a father and he committed to being there for his daughter, so he would consciously tone himself down. So I did that. Luckily, I am a Gemini, so I do both sides. So he's a Gemini. He was a Gemini. In spirit, he's still a Gemini. He's here. He's here. I feel his energy. I didn't have fun doing poetic justice. I did it because John was my friend, and I gave it my all because he was my friend. It was hard, not because of Janet, but not because of nothing. It was just really hard, that point in my life for me to be trying to do a movie. I don't think I was a professional. I don't think I was professional. I think I was talented, but I don't think I was professional. I didn't have the concentration I should have had. That was him in Poetic Justice. Still around family, of friends. I love women. I'm not going to lie, I love women with a passion. Sometimes I just want to call up Prince and be like, can we hang? Because I love women like he loves women. That's Prince. Prince was the singer, Prince. May he rest in peace too. So I get lots of friends because I have respect for women, ultra respect for women. I like being around females. I'm comfortable. I get with them on every level. I don't get I don't get like a predator things going on when I'm around them or females. And I'm not uncomfortable around strong women. Madonna is a real nice, Madonna's real nice. She's a good person. She helped me a lot. She was real cool, like any one of my homeboys. Jasmine Guy, she helped. She was a good supporter. That's Jasmine Guy with him right there. You know Jasmine Guy from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And the other person was his sister. That's Jada. Jada Pinkett. Jada is my heart. She will be my friend she will be my friend my whole life. We'll be old together. Jada can't ask me to do anything and she can have it. She can have my heart, my liver, my lungs, my kidneys, my blood marrow, all of that. He loved Jada. Mama, I really do love you and appreciate everything you've done for me. I think my mother taught me to understand women a lot than my peers can. If you raised if you were raised by a woman, you're going to have feminine characteristics. You're going to think like a woman. But I'm not a woman. I'm just a normal man. I'm just very soft. I'm very sensitive. But that's why I am so harsh, because I am so sensitive, you know? To me, I am the hardest man around, the hardest nigga out here, because I am real and I will cry. If something's bothering me, I will swing. And if I can't beat them, I'll run. I'm not stupid. I'm just real. That's him and other girls. I don't know those girls. I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know those girls. Birdie just happens to be that female boogaloo that Moth is drawn to. Boogaloo is half a man. Every half a man needs a strong man to lead him. He's just probably had no father or something, no direction. So Birdie, being the strong male figure, my character, just like draws all these moths from the community to me, and I lead them. Some sort of like a banging situation, except it's not me. Not me, Tupac. Me, Birdie. I think that was the name of his character, Birdie. Being famous and having money gave me confidence. The screams of the crowd gave me confidence. Before that, I was shell of a man. Now I believe that I am my own man. I put it down. I put it down. If it's about music, rap music, it's about acting, whatever. I want to get into the headset. I gotta be involved. I gotta excel at it. It can't be a small thing. It gotta be a big thing. And I believe that I am a natural born leader. I didn't want to change. I love that when I was with Janet Jackson, big movies and all that, I'd be up at the dirtiest house parties in the hood. People could not believe it. And I used to thrive off of that. Being up at the party and someone turning around and go, oh my God, that's Tupac. And everybody's going crazy because I'm in the dirty party. No securities, lights out, drinking, hella drunk, drunk with everybody else. But that's what kept my sanity. That's what kept me writing. That's what kept me going. That's Tupac on stage. Tupac signing autographs. He wrote also a play, 32 Bottles of Heaven. I'm not going to go through that. That's Tupac. Thug Life. I was scared, but so was America. That's hardware he had. I don't know if that was him. This is Code of the Thug Life. Someone must dare to put the streets back on track. It's clear to nobody that can see that the hustling game was gone. Start raving mad. The short and long range results. We will not be detrimental to the street game, but we'll also destroy any foundation in our community. But more important, the combinations of self-destruction and turf war, coupled with the government's police terrorism, faces laws designed to capture and keep our black women and men in jail for the rest of their lives and leaves a defenseless community with results in our renegade. For as long as the street game hustle has existed in our community, which is the result of many factors and will only be resolved through the liberation. It has been viewed as a necessary tolerance between legal and illegal economy and culture. The underground economy in many areas have been supportive of uplifting the black community, although for a fact it has been the downfall of individuals. The dynamics of struggle between good doers and the thugs have been consistent battles for balance in our community, which at least was under our control. The rules of engagement of the hustle was a code of thug life. This code was the ABC of how the street game should be should and would be played. This code allowed for money to be made by the crews in different fields of the games and determined how disputes between among the players should be handled. It also allowed the people who were not in the game to pressure the enemy of our people and allow the people who will work in the interest of our people, education, health, housing, legal, etc., to feel the efforts was worth it. The game today, as it exists, is a complete violation of the code. Historically, the street hustlers was hip to the enemy and would never work in the government interest to destroy their own people. The thug life is a tool of the enemy as it exists today. It must change. Outside forces and methods whose interests are being served by the hustler, the crews have no dignity, they have no honor, and this must be corrected. A council must be called to put a code to the thug life. We accept the gains will go on until our liberation. What we want to accept is that the game will destroy us from within before we get another chance to rumble and rebuild. We will not allow ourselves to be played by the covert operations, Cotel Pro, and low intensity warfare range by the United States government. A code to be established as we look at the West Coast. The majority of the life is controlled by gangs, Latin, Chicanos, the black community as well. The gangs is the force between the underground economy and our hoods. In the Mid-East, the common denominator, there is also the gangs which are responsible for the street life. Politically, culturally, and economically, these forces, in an attempt to put the game back on track and work with the interests of the community and to resist the strategy of the government. They have begun setting down a platform for the street game in full effect. We praise this effort. The code of thug life must become a part as a well-eased street life. This must be a common denominator. The original gangsters behind the walls of the dungeons will take some responsibility for putting the force to the council and the code. We must act now. The code of thug life will save us to fight another day. We won't if we don't. We're asked. That's a code of life that he had, and that's Tupac. I said I only have an hour here. So let's see. When I say I mean when I say when I say thug, I mean not a criminal. Someone who beats you over the head. I mean underdog. So when he said he thug life, it's not the thug life that beats you. The thug life that is the underdog. You could have two people. One person has everything he needs to succeed, and one person has nothing. If the person who has nothing succeeds, he's a thug because he overcame all the obstacles. Don't ask me why, but it doesn't have anything to do with the dictionary version of thug. Sorry. When my heart beats, it screams thug life. To me, thug is pride. You know what I'm saying? Not being someone who goes against the law, not being someone who takes, but being someone that has nothing, and even though there is no home for me to go to, my head is up high, my chest is out. I'll, I walk tall, I talk loud, and I don't stutter. I am being strong. I don't understand why America doesn't understand thug life. America is thug life. What makes me saying I don't give a F different than Patrick Henry saying give me liberty or give me death. What makes my freedom less worth fighting for than Bosnians or whoever they want to fight for this year? Young black males out there identify with thug life because I'm not trying to clean them up. I am, but I am not saying come to clean. I'm saying come as you are. Everybody come as you are. And they feel my genuine love for the street elements. I love that. You know what I'm saying? He talks like that. I take the good and the bad. We have worked through it, but we can't work together if we not unified. Those were his people. This is something else that happened to Tupac, 1999. On July 4th, 1999, the United States of America as we know it was brought to its knees by a highly organized military organization known as the New World Society, led by a charismatic black man who, up to the revolt, was the military chief of the armed forces, Charles Payton's, and I had to do some research on that. His army was made up of renegades, members of the armed forces, mercenaries, I don't know, and organized street gangs of the country's inner cities. On January 3, 2001, the country was once again under the control of the president. But for 18 months, for the first time in American history, there was no America as we know it. The man responsible, Charles Patience, was also known as the man who stopped it. On February 17, 2001, he was sentenced to die for treason. He was pardoned by the president and forced into exile. Before he left, one person got his story, a female reporter by the name of Gloria Willis. What follows in his story as told to her. This man was killed. I'm going to do research on that, but this man was killed unjustly. As you know, those little things that have the mice where they run around in circles and there are little blocks for it? Well, society is like that. They'll let you go as far as you want, but as soon as you start asking too many questions and you're ready to change, boom, there goes the block. Block, yes. They like to block people from trying to achieve to their highest level of, and that's gonna stop. I got the whole world fearing me. You know what I'm saying? At 23, weighing 160 pounds, Tupac. And I ain't even started. I ain't even rolled my plan out yet. And they're scared. I got the vice president knowing who I am, the president, every cop in every city, and I haven't even started working a plan. I hear you, because everybody know my name too. I've been getting the blame for everything. Thug life ever did. Anybody can say something about thug life, and it always comes back to me. I'm done. Had policemen get killed, and I get the blame for it. All types of violence, and I get the blame for it. He was blamed for things he never did. Because he was a rapper? They don't even know what they just talking about. They could just be talking about Bob Marley for all I care. They don't know who they're talking about. They don't know what careers they're hurting or lives they're changing. They're just out there trying to get paid. If somebody geeks them up to go attack Tupac, now what it does is they attack a new famous rapper, and now they themselves are famous. I have not brought violence to you or thug life to America. I am being persecuted. He was being persecuted. Tupac Shakur was being persecuted. When I did say I was a gangster, when I did say I was a gangster rapper, is Frank Sinatra a gangster singer? Is Steven Seagal a gangster actor? What is it? That's such a limited term. Marlon Brando is not a gangster actor. Alex Rose and them are not gangster rock and rollers. They're rock and rollers. So I am a rapper. This is what I do. I'm an artist. And I rap about the oppressed taking back their place. I rap about fighting back. To me, my lyrics and my verses are about struggling and overcoming, you know? Not gangsters. I don't rap about sitting up, eating shrimps and shit. I rap about fighting back. I make it uncomfortable by putting details to it. It might not even have been politically correct, but I've reached somebody. They're relating to me. They retaliate to the brutal honesty in the rap. And why shouldn't they be angry? And why shouldn't my raps that I'm rapping to my community be filled with rage? They should be filled with the same atrocities that they gave to me. You have to be logical. If I know that in this hotel room, they've been food every day, and I'm knocking on the doors every day to eat, and they open the door and let me see the party, see them throwing salami all over, just like throwing food all around. Then they're telling me there's no food in there. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I'm standing outside trying to sing my way in. We are hungry. Please let us in. We're hungry. Please let us in. About a week, and that song is going to change. We are hungry. We need to eat food. After 2, 3 weeks of, it's like after 2, 3 weeks, it's like, give me some food. We're banging on the doors, and after a year, it's like I'm picking up the locks, coming through the doors, blasting. You know, I am saying, you know what I'm saying? So he talks slang. It's like you're hungry. You reached your level. You don't want any more. We asked 10 years ago why we was asking with the Panthers. We was asking them with the civil rights movements. We was asking, you know, now those people who was asking are all dead or in jail. Now what do you think we're going to do? Ask. Exodus, he has Exodus 18:31, I think it is. Trials that my faults that I had, that kind of environment around me. Oh, this is very deep. This charge that he went in for, the rape charge. He didn't do that rape. Somebody asked me, "You exploit women?" And I mean, I might, with her permission, I might smack a girl on her butt in the video. I might be drinking champagne or something like that, but everything in moderation. I don't always have to do a song where there's the good woman. I don't see it as women being all one thing. I think that all women are different. And if I do something that has a bad woman, then people go, oh, he hates women. No, look, okay, I don't. I think there is definitely a type, a female, label them a bitch, or they're okay, or their main thing is to get what they can and get revealed in breaking a nigga's heart, taking what he owes, and you know, making a man ruining a man. There's male bitches too. Women know there are bitches out there. I don't know why women look surprised for us to be saying that there are B out there. They know they say it out loud. They're just like that. We're saying they're all B's. That's not what we're saying. And that's what I try to do with keep your head up and get around. I said I'm going to write a song about women like my mom, or the women like my sister, who I think represents a strong black woman. And I did that. Now I'm going to rap about the women I see every day. And that was Get Around. If I just did songs like Keep Your Head Up, it would make me seem more than what I am. But I'm just a normal man. I have sex with people. I make love to people I love. But I still enjoy having sex without the emotional connections, because the connections that I have would be passion or attraction or lust, something like that. Criminal Court of the City of New York, Part AP3, New York. Tupac Shakur charging Tupac Shakur with the offense of PL 130.50.110. All these he had a $50,000 bail. Tupac Shakur. Did she She did something there at the club and got together later that night. I saw her again another time with these guys who introduced her to me. This was the sexual assault. Everybody was having a good time. Nothing sexual, just everybody having a good time. Me, her went in there. She gave me a massage. I came out, went to sleep, woke up. She was screaming, rape, rape. I raped her. She was yelling at me. This isn't the last you're going to see me. I'm cursing her out because I'm not thinking she's really going to do that. And the next thing I know, I'm going to jail. I'm not capable of doing any harm to a woman. That's really the main thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess around. I don't act crazy. I don't get drunk. I do have parties. I do get into some little fist fights with guys, but I'm not capable of doing any harm to a woman. That's something from her. That's not me. That would never be me. Taking something from her, that's not me. That would never be me. They don't have to worry about me hurting kids or a woman or having anything like that. That's not me. I'm a victim. I would never make anybody a victim. That's not me. He never raped that girl. I don't have any friends anymore. I'm surrounded, but I don't have any friends. I have homies, associates. What relationships could I possibly have? Now I am petrified. I can't mess with women. Now I am vulnerable because they all like, you're in trouble. So I just decided to withdraw myself. I can't go to the clubs anymore. I'm just a prisoner to my own fame. I can't go out. I can't meet nice girls. I can't go anywhere. I can't go to the barbecues anymore. I can't go to school. And it's fake. It's messed up. I can't do shows. Everybody already, I'm guilty, but I can't even go to Philly. I can't go to Texas. I can't go anywhere. I can't go nowhere. That's why I that's why I wanted to die at that point. I was like, F it. I'm tired. At 22, I'm tired. I should have been rejuvenated, young, and 22 and just entering college, just leaving college or something. When I am just starting my life, I'm just starting to build a future for my family, for their family. You know what I'm saying? When I started seeing that, it made me say, it's hopeless. It wasn't like one day waking up and wanting to commit suicide. It was like all around. I felt suicidal, but I couldn't kill myself. I just wanted somebody to end it for me. But I also thought I cannot leave with people thinking I'm an R criminal. I can't leave until this thing is straight. But it also, but it's also like the S word, because you're so tired you want to sleep. I'm like a victim, a target. So I couldn't sleep. I couldn't rest. I couldn't sleep at home. People K me at home. Police gonna come and K me at home. Is there a secret police? I'm just petrified. I'm so deep into weed at that point. I'm bugging just because I'm just a menace to everybody. Just had no friends. He felt they were MK ultraing him. They were MK ultraing him. There was a lot. They wanted him out for sure. He got shot 5 times. I walked in. Some dudes walked in and shot me and took some jewelry. Remember that? That was in the studio. He know who did it. I know who shot me. Everybody knows who shot me. The police knows who shot me. The situation with me is like what comes around goes around. Karma. I believe in karma. I believe in all of that. I'm not worried about it, you know. They messed, they missed. I'm not worried about it unless they come back. I am crazy or what? Hell no. I ain't crazy. I was pissed off. What is really going on is this is a crazy world. And if you're not a tad bit crazy, then you cannot survive. You will not survive. You will not be able to look at the news. You will not be able to meet people. You will not be able to be in the home with your doors locked. You've got to be a little crazy, and I am. I'm crazy enough to deal with this BS. First, I was like, I'm going to jail. If they try to come and get for me something I didn't do, I'm going to open fire. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do that because it's just not me anymore. That's not what they that's what they expect. If I have to, if God sees it fit for me to spend time in a cell, if He wants my brain to be inside of a cage, if He brought me so far from hell to put me here, and now He wants me to go to jail, I'll go. If that's where I'm meant to be, but I don't think so. I don't believe in my heart that I belong in jail. 1995, he went to jail. I learned things there. I don't have any problems telling people it's not cool to go to jail because I've been there and it's not cool. Where I was at was a maximum security penitentiary where everybody, the top of the line goes. This is where they send you if you were to kill somebody in New York or had blew up the World Trades. This is where they would have sent you. The way they explained it was I was too famous to go to a medium or a minimum. That doesn't make sense. If I'm too famous to go to a regular jail, I'm too famous to be in jail, put me under house arrest. You know what I mean? They don't send Tupac to that. It was April. Wow. I know, I saw April. This is some of the things that, some of the conducts that he had to abide in. He was doing his workout. So I'm up in here in jail where you're supposed to be good, no weapons. You're paying for your sins. Dudes is getting killed. Dudes is coming in there with 1.5 to 4.5, getting stabbed in the chest with a pair of scissors and ending in their life in jail and never coming home. I was just sitting in jail, and these dudes I've seen, I mean, you would not believe it. Twice this happened. Am in jail. It was another section of the jail, but it happened. And then they locked the jail down, and we can't move around. For the first time for the first half of my stay there, me and the guards had problems. I got smacked, treated bad. They just did everything they could to try to break me because I used to talk a lot of S. So as soon as I got there, they went, there's a rich N. I was like, oh, S. He said, N. You know how he talks. He said, N. And everybody was looking at me. So I was like, oh my God, this is where I'm going to be staying. He's just said N. He's talking about ends. Ends was the ones on the rope hanging out the thing. Ends is the ones with the gold ropes hanging out at the clubs. If you're not an N, you don't use that word. My inspiration was gone because I was a caged animal. He felt like a caged animal. He really didn't have a good upbringing. He did some plays, he wrote some plays. The first month I spent in solitude, 23 hours a day, locked down, reading, writing. I wrote scripts, I called to tell. I read screenplays that were famous books by Sid Field. I got that and I remember all the scripts I ever read and wrote one. It's based semi on my own life and the rest is fiction, but it follows this guy through his whole life. Coming of age story. But it tells the mother side of you. It's like a movie to all the albums. So he keeps writing. This poor boy. Jail is a big business, he says. Believe me, I see big business. They charge you for telephone calls. They charge you for disciplinary problems. Jail is big business. You know, you could feed a whole town off of one jail. This jail is the middle of this jail is the middle of a town that feeds everybody. Everybody works here. This is the main income. You can buy safety. You can put money in your account. And I make sure just for the guard's sake that I keep about $5,000 in my account or something. When you got money in your account, you can buy something. When you got to go to commissary, I became the most generous person in there. When I left everything. I owned to other people. From the TV to the Walkman, everything. You can have all this. I was like that while I was in there. Getting food, whatever I had, I shared, whatever. I had this guy used to cook for me. This guy named Soto. He used to make rigatoni and spaghetti and meatballs, everything. I had Italian guys making food, so I ate. It's illegal, but that's what they do. And dudes be eating rice and everything. I learned things there. Like Al Sharpton came to visit me. He had marched almost, he had marched against most of the guys I was friends in jail. Not friends like that word friend, but who I associated with. And I will have to explain to him in jail, it's like a whole different thing, like how you should be in life, humble. Because this guy was like, I was talking to skinheads and everything, because you don't like black people. All right, that's fine, that's your opinion. Just like I want people to respect my opinions. When I'm rapping, I'm gonna respect your opinion. But I want you to treat me with respect, and I'll treat you with respect, and we'll get along good. This guy, the skinhead, hate black people all over. He getting autographs for his little cousins. I felt like I accomplished something. I know by him getting my autograph, that meant something to me. He couldn't hate black people and come get my autograph. You know what I mean? He was hanging out with he was in jail with skinheads. For the brief moment my record got released, I was number one record. People made me number one, and I loved him for that. He was in jail when he made number one. It was a trip. It was a trip. Every time they used to say something bad to me, I'd be like, that's right. I got the number one record in the country. Because they used to tell me stuff like, you're in jail. Won't be any more rapping for a long time for you, huh? Ha 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 ha. I'd be like, well, actually, my album is number one in the country right now. I just beat Bruce Springsteen. And they used to be like, go back to your cell. Plus, I used to get Entertainment Weekly in the mail and just read and see where my record was and just trip out. Be like, damn, number one in the whole country. To me, it'll always be my favorite album. Me Against the World was really to show people that it is an art to me, that I do take it like that. And whatever mistakes I made out of ignorance, not out of disrespect to music or the art. Me Against the World was deep reflective. It was like a blues record. It was blown. It was down home. It was all my fears, all the things I just couldn't sleep about. Everybody thought everybody thought I was living so well and doing so good, and I wanted to explain it. And it took a whole album to get it out. I get to tell my innermost darkest secrets. I tell my own personal problems. It's explaining my life, who I am and bringing and everything. It talks about the streets, but it talks about it in a different light. There's a song there dedicated to mothers, just a song I wrote just for my mother, and it digs deeper like that. I just wanted to do something for all mothers. I'm proud of that song. It affected a lot of people. I know that song, Dear Mama. Dear Mama. He wrote a lot when he was in jail. I won't read his very good, very good stories that he wrote. Oh, he wrote this to Soldier. Every time I read your letters, it makes me smile, think, laugh, and marvel at how easy it is for us to relate to one another. And it's no hustle. It is my wish that when this letter reaches you, it finds you and your family in safety and serenity. Now, where do I start? I'm sitting here with a fat stack of letters, and through them, I immediately recognize your handwriting, and now I have to finally and know that you have finally written to me back. And as usual, it was worth the wait. This letter is hard to write because I'm editing as I write. I'm preoccupied with having any of my statements misjudged as hustling. First off, let me answer your number one question. No, I don't mind long letters. In fact, I wish yours were longer. And yes, I will love not to only hear of your adventures, but also share some of my own. Yes, I will write back. Da 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 da. Screenplays. Okay, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I want to read to you Tupac. A lot of people supported me. Jasmine Guide, Jada Pinkett, Mickey Rourke. He just wrote me funny stories. But the name that sticks out in my head the most is Tony Danza. To me, he is the bomb forever. I will be his number one fan because when I got his letter, I was like, whoa. I was screaming to everybody. Tony Danza. I know when I was in jail. I know when I was in jail, they had a story on the news, the local news out there, that Madonna was coming to visit me. Madonna has so much power that the guards let me take extra showers because they thought she was coming to visit me. When I was in jail, Tyson was in jail. We would talk. He gave me some good advice, as a matter of fact. He's given me a lot of advice. I really look up to him. So for him to tell me to calm down, I was like, whoa, it's time to calm down. If Mike Tyson is telling me that he heard about me in jail, calm down. So Jazz used to go see him in jail. He got married. I'm a romantic, and I thought at the time I wanted to be married. I got married to someone who I cared about. It was a girlfriend. I never had a girlfriend. So it was like my only real girlfriend. So we just got married and it didn't work. Not because of her or me or jail. It was just wasn't the right thing to do at the time. We rushed into it. When I married her for the wrong reasons. I cared about her. But I married her because I was in jail. I didn't want to be alone. And it was like, well, she's there. I care about her. She cares about me. Let me show her some commitment. Watching Oprah, that's what happened. Oprah and all those shows and all those women talking about commitments. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, it's romantic when the guys propose. And I was like, oh, okay, well, imagine if a guy's in jail and he proposes. We will grow. Neither you evolve or you disappear. And I want to grow. I want to be better. You know what I mean? I want to be able to approach women, deal with women, and communicate with women and give them respect. I was in jail. That's all I could do was watch TV. So I got married. I don't have any bad feelings towards her. We were not married anymore. This wasn't a wedding, just a room, justice of the peace, and you do, I do, let's go. It was real romantic for a little while, but for the months that I was married, but it was too young, too fast. It's not it's not time, and I didn't want to hurt her. I cared about her too much. Whew. I don't know, this is a lot. Okay, you get time to appreciate things. Perspective. You start looking at things differently. Like everything's not so important. You don't take things so personally. Jail will do that for you because you're talking to killers. And if they say something about you and they say something you don't like, you can be like, what? You got to be like, okay, look, man, would you mind not calling me? No, you know what I mean? anger management, like a mole, and guards pushing up, calling you names, telling you to hurry up and get out of the shower. You can't say that. When I'm taking a shower, you got to be like, yes, sir. So I learned that humility. I think being humble is good. You get to see things more. And I got that from jail, being in jail, where you don't talk so much. Everything changes. Become better people. We should get that chance. I just want my chance. He was in jail for 11 months. I've been in jail down to my 11th month. I'm vulnerable, stuck in my cell. This is this here lifestyle is hard. I knew I could trust nobody. Trust nobody. Straight up. My closet friends did me in. My closest friends. Oh, I said closet friends. Yeah. My closest friends did me in. My homies, people I would have took care of my whole life. I would take care of everything for them. I would have looked out for them, put them in the game, turn on me. Fear is so fear is stronger than love. Remember that. Fear is stronger than love. This is what he was saying. All the love I gave didn't mean nothing when it came to fear. So it's all good. I am a soldier and I will survive. I will constantly come back. The only thing that can, the only thing that can K me is death. When I was in jail, they took my piece of the board so I don't play anymore. Now I'm back on the board. I am back being a chess player. Every move that I make, something's going to go along with that. There's going to be a response. It's like, okay, you ready, Pac? This is going to be the chess game. Now it's chess game. It's Tupac. I don't know what the... Death Row, 1995 to 1996. It's not a violent war, but it's a war. He is with Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Suge Knight. Suddenly, I was out on bail pending my appeal. The way the criminal justice system works is that when you're convicted, you have a chance to appeal, and while you appeal, you can be out on bail. If I win my appeal, which God wills, I will have done 11 months for nothing. I was relieved, happy to be home. It's a trip when you know that last week that you are in jail. I was in a little cell. It was real dirty, not having any hot water. Deuce was telling me when to shower, when to eat, and all that. And the next week, I'm up in Monty with crystal, champagne, filet mignon, lobster, shrimps. Everybody kept going. Come on, let me take you out. Let me take you out. Oh, you ain't eat? You home? Come on. Now let me take you to dinner. I had 4 breakfast celebrations and everything. We was all up in Roscoe's. I even celebrated at El Pollo Loco. We had celebrations up in there because I was dreaming about El Pollo Loco the whole entire time. I was like, I can't wait to get out. I'm going straight to LA. I'm going straight to El Pollo Loco. When I'm going there, I'm going there. When I wanted to drive up and down Sunset, because I love LA with a passion, I love Sunset. I love everything about LA, and I just wanted to drive up and there and look at the signs and the people, the energy. That's LA. You got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. This is, I think, Culture. I don't know. Do you know those people there? His family, family. He like his family and his friends. I only wrote one song in jail. I couldn't write. But the day I got out, when I got out in the studio, I had written 20 songs in less than 2 weeks. So that's when it all came out: freedom, inspiration. Think of the sacrifice, the price we pay throughout these criminal lives. Count all the lives we gave. Started out broke, started out bold as slaves and figures, but now we MOB. Came out of jail, went straight to the studio and did 24 tracks. It's a double album called All Eyes on Me. It's just a gift from my fans. That's that's that supported me while I was locked down. I got a lot of letters of support. Plus I had so much to say. I figured this: if we be the best to vent instead of paying some psychotherapist like $50 million, I just went to the studio. It's cheaper. So he spent a lot of his time, did 2 albums back to back, videos. I don't know, who are these people? Do you know these people? California Love. Death Row is a successful company. It runs efficiently. Everything they release has sold in excess of 4 million copies. I'm saying, why not be there? I really like everybody. The record company, I like Suge. That was my homie. I like Snoop Dogg, Dre, Nate, and all of them. I hung out with them. So now it's just official. Suge ain't no gangster, man. He's chillin'. He's coming to death row. One of the main reasons besides Suge was Snoop. The man got so much style. I like I felt like since me and Snoop music was often coupled together when we were being criticized and when we were being praised, we getting, sales and all that. So I said it would be a wise decision to team up with them and make this allegiance that much more stronger and the vibe coming out the West Coast scene that much more heavier. I am a superpower. Death Row is superpower. Let's combine superpowers and allies and really hit them. And that's one of the biggest combinations you can get. I mean, to me, I know what good morals are. It would seem you're supposed to be discard more morals when you are living in a crazy bad world. If you're living cursed, how can you live like an angel? If you're in hell, how can you live like an angel? You're surrounded by devils, and you're supposed to be like an angel. That's like us, you know what I'm saying? Tupac. I have love for everybody. Tupac had love for everybody. Passed away, not really experiencing his youth, his life. I just really messed up, but I learned. I come back stronger. Every chances, every change, everyone changes, becomes better people. We all should get a chance. I just want my chance. That's his mom and Tupac. Free Gijane Geronimo. Geronimo Brat? Who's this? I have to do a research on him. Geronimo Brat. Whatever mistakes I made out of ignorance, not out of disrespect. I was reactionary. Now I don't do that anymore. Same person, just I don't react anymore. I reacted. I didn't like the cameras. I want to grow. I want to be better. You grow. We all grow. We were made to grow. You either evolve or you disappear. You either evolve or you disappear. It's Tupac. Some pictures with Snoop Dogg and Tupac. Look scared there. I want to be in the future known as somebody. I want people to be talking about me like, remember when he was real bad? Talking about Tupac. Sorry. I still get love from my community. I can still go down the street, ride past a crowd, and they scream. You know, it's like I owe them everything. That's where I owe everything to the hood. I got love there. I love from the thugs, from the dudes, street dudes. We can do anything if we just give us a shot and stop trying to beat us down. We need to be in control of ourselves. I ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? There's death and life, and there's no life if you ain't fighting. That's Thug and his family and his friends. He died. They killed him. That was the day he was shot. He was with Suge Knight. Suge Knight. It was in. We all know who is responsible for that. Perhaps I was blinded to the facts. Stabbed in the back. I couldn't trust my own homies. Just a bunch of dirty rats. I will succeed, paranoid from the weed. Hocus pocus, try to focus, but I can't see. In my mind, a blind man doing time. Look to my future, my past is called behind me. Is it crime to fight for what is mine? Everybody's dying to tell me what's the use of trying. I've been trapped since birth, cautious cause I'm cursed. Fantasize of my family in a hearse. And they say it's the white man I should fear, but it's my own kind doing all the killing here. I can't lie. Ain't no love for the other side. Jealousy inside make 'em wish I effing died. And my Lord tell me what I'm living for. Everybody's dropping. Got me knocking on heaven's door. So many enemies dreamt of killing me. If these the killing fields, then I'm the growing seed. All my memories, seeing brothers bleed, and everybody grieve, but nobody sees. Recollect your thoughts, don't get caught in the mix, cause the media is full of dirty tricks. Still, I ain't dead yet. Remember, right off. There's a phone number there he left. Dear mama, don't cry. Your baby boy's doing good. Tell the homies I'm in heaven and it ain't got hoods. Seen a show with Marvin Gaye last night. It made me shook. Drinking peppermint snap with Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke. Then some lady named Billie Holiday sang sitting there kicking it with Malcolm till the next day. Little LaShanta, she grew. Tell the lady in the liquor store that she's forgiven, so come home. Maybe in time you'll understand. Only God can save us. Miss Miles Davis cutting loose with the band. Just think of all the people that you knew in the past that passed on. They in heaven found peace at last. Picture a place that they exist together. There has to be a place better than this in heaven. So right before I sleep, dear God, what I'm asking, remember this face. Save me a place in Thug's mansion. Note of Afni Shakur. Tupac loved to read. Books were a constant part of his life. As much as Tupac loved to read, he enjoyed talking. From our earliest commitment to a documentary of Tupac's life, we had allowed Tupac to narrate this journey through film. The embryo of this important book was already beginning to impose itself upon our production plan for the film. It was as if Tupac's spirit reminded us that we wanted to tell his story not only on film, but in print. The film is very powerful voice for Tupac, but an accompanied book was obviously unavoidable. Amaru's own Miss Claron Ali went searching for publishers who would not distort our vision for this project. Thankfully, we did not give to search further. We did not get to search further than Judith Kerr, who published Tupac's The Rose That Grew from Concrete. When Judith took over the helm at Atria, we became re-energized with her faith in our project. This book is a result of the work of many people. More importantly, the book is an extension of my son's thoughts, beliefs, and the way he viewed life. Thank you, Tupac, for sharing your world on film and in pages of this book. We hope we did not disappoint you. Love, Mama. I read it. And it's so funny that a lot of his visions are going to come true into this reality. Just like Martin Luther King. Just like all the others that have passed away, that had a dream. No matter whether you was a rapper, no matter if you was an artist, no matter if you was in leadership, Harriet Tubman, it doesn't matter. The day of freedom is here, and God's people will be free. Very tough. I don't know why I'm getting my throat. I've been reading for like over an hour, and I'm going to end this video because I used a lot of time here, and I'm just very thankful, and I don't want to abuse their time. I love you guys. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. And I may do tomorrow is another. I'll come on tomorrow and do a reading. And I have some dream messages there. And I did dreams. There's a mother. I'll do it tomorrow. But there's an important message for somebody. Your parents are not who your parents truly are. I love you guys and I thank you. And if you want to share, you want to donate to my channel, $BELIVE